Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode number 61 in the book of Hebrews. We're in the last chapter today, chapter 13 of Hebrews, and we've gone through a lot of theology, and today's not at all about theology. It's about practicality. In this last chapter, there's 17 charges of things that he wants us to do. Now, the theology obviously plays into all those things, but it is incredibly practical. So listen with me to the first 4 verses of Hebrews chapter 13. Read with me together. Let brotherly love continue. Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. Remember those who are in prison, as though in prison with them, and those who are mistreated, since you are in the body. Verse 4, let marriage be held in honor among all, and let the marriage bed be undefiled, for God will judge the sexually immoral and the adulterous. Okay, so let's walk through those. That's 4 verses. There's 6 charges there. First one is let brotherly love continue. That is, show an earthly care for people that are similar to us. People that have the likeness of us, that bear a family resemblance to us. In a sense, these are the people that are the easiest to love. Now, that doesn't mean they're easy, but they're easier than people that are not like us. So brotherly love should continue in the church for sure. All right, that's the first one. The second one is don't neglect to show hospitality to strangers. Now, that means that's philioxenias. It's love of the other, love of people that are not like us. This is where love gets even harder. So that could be not like us based on age or economics or different race or different tribes, different politics, different gender, different place, different jobs, and different place in society, maybe a power differential. These are the people that it is more difficult to love. He mentions here that some have entertained angels. You remember what angels are, fantastic created creatures that always serve God in a 100% reliable way. They visit in his presence and do things that he wishes to be done, and they interact with people occasionally. What's mentioned here, I think, not specifically referenced, but Lot entertained a couple of angels as they came to bring the Lord's judgment against a place called Sodom. The point, I think, with the strangers is that the Bible always loves people like this. The Bible loves the orphan. The Bible loves the widow. The Bible loves strangers. It loves prisoners, which we'll find out here in about a second. But the marginalized, children, women in this society. The Bible makes a special care for those people. All right, third thing is remember those in prison as though in prison with them. So that is having sympathy. One of our old pastors says he loved ministering to the aging, to the hospitalized, and the prisoner. And he says, because each one of those things is doing the hardest thing that they have ever done. So here, in prison, as though with them, I feel, what you're saying is, I feel your prison. And in the next one, it's, I feel your pain. That is, the fourth charge is to remember those who are mistreated. Because we are a body, and we function with different gifts, and we're attached to one another, out there in the body of Christ is sensory nerve endings that when those get stepped on, we are supposed to be feeling the pain of others. So it's compassion and feeling each other's pain is definitely a part of the body of Christ. So when people are in prison, you act as though you're in prison or feel as though you're in prison. Or when the body is mistreated, you feel the pain of that person. All right, then marriage, number 5. Hold marriage in honor. That is, have a high value for this. It spills over, obviously, into work and crime and productivity. And, we have this epidemic of fatherlessness in our society. And here, it asks us to support and honor marriage because it's the center of love and companionship and partnering and shared goal and sexual fulfillment. All those things come together in marriage. So is it viewed with great worth? Is it valued and respected and held in high regard? So think about this. It's every married person in your church and every married person that you know has a difficult marriage. All of them are difficult, 100% of them. It's where your sin is revealed best. And therefore, marriage, in a sense, is brutal. Now, not being marriage is brutal in a different way, I'm sure. But marriage is a difficult thing. So if you think that every single person that's married is doing a brutal thing, then they're going to need some support. They're going to need some, TLC and love here. So support them as they deal with that. Give them support and encourage and have awareness and mention it. And then specifically here, the last one is let the marriage bed be undefiled. So that is not a charge to a mattress. It's a charge to people. So don't defile the marriage bed during your marriage. That's called adultery. And don't defile the marriage bed before your marriage. That's called sexual immorality. And that's where you're stealing the pleasures and the perks of the marriage bed before there is even a marriage. So the two problems with that is God judges the immoral. That's the people that have sexual dalliance before marriage, and then he punishes the adulteress, and that's those who have sexual dalliance during marriage. And kind of what's not even mentioned here is who's in the marriage bed, because everybody doesn't forget they have a marriage bed of memory, and you have to have this. Then you have to get forgiveness from your spouse for stealing things from the marriage debt, and you have this debt owed to God and a debt owed to the other person, and it just complicates something that's already pretty complicated. So the charge here is attach yourself to a body of people like you. Attach yourself to a body of people not like you. Have compassion for brothers and strangers and prisoners and mistreated. And honor the marriage bed. Good marriage principles, honor it, support it, champion it. It's a place where sinfulness is revealed, and they're going to need your support. And then honor marriage from the inside. Don't have an affair against your spouse during marriage. That's called an affair. And don't have an affair against your spouse before marriage. That's the sexual immorality. So there's all these practical things. Stay with me. We're only about a third of the way through the list. Let's just do those things today. Let's honor the marriage and have compassion. Thanks for listening.